Allah, Allah. Why did he stand at attention? It's okay. It's okay. Hello, y'all. How you doing today? I am Mari-Antoine, and thank you so much for tuning back in. If you're back, if you're one of my followers, bro, guys, I literally have 4 followers. I'm so popular. I know. It's okay. It's okay. But as I say, 4 people is enough to literally kiss. So that was 4 kisses from my 4 followers. Shout out to y'all. Today, as you can see from the title, we're gonna be talking about meanness. And if you thought you were gonna sit down and hear a freaking tutorial, first of all, you got issues. Second of all, of course, that's not what we're gonna do here. But you're gonna hear firsthand from a former crash out, from a reformed bully, why even though being mean is easy, being kind becomes easier when you actually practice that. You know what I mean? Okay, I wanted to step in for like a BFFR moment. Yeah, and I'm not even gonna cap, like, let's look through the material, because this is literally a video that I had from 2 years ago, which I just find so hilarious. Weird, like prank to a man is so weird. And I also feel like I'm gonna end up cursing people. Like I'm gonna be praying for the people I like, but also I'm a hater, so I'm gonna be praying on people's downfalls. So I feel like, you think that's gonna like backfire on me? So I feel like I shouldn't even say shit, because even stuff like praying, expressing gratitude, which is stuff that I started practicing from that point to now. So 2 years of doing that, it really changes your outlook and your perspective, and it changes who you are on the inside out. Cool, okay? So we're gonna jump straight into it, okay? With the former telling of my youth, okay? 4th grade, I did my little cross-country thing. I was doing amazing on the hot cross buns on the recorder. I was doing this, doing that, living my best life. But I won't lie, like, I was not a nice girl, Like, sometimes we'd be playing tag, and there was one specific girl that whenever she was around, I would just be like, oh, let's change the game. Oh, let's change the game. Let's run off and do this. Let's run off and do that. And it was not nice, And let me tell you something, because you think being nice and being mean has no benefits. I literally went to the doctor. All I did 4th grade, I did my cross country, I ate hot Cheetos, and I was a massive B word. And I went to the doctor. You know what I had? I literally had heart palpitations, okay? I had heart problems because of all the freaking toxic things in my life. So you know what I had to do? She told me I had to quit cross country. I had to stop eating hot Cheetos, and I had to cease being a massive B word. And it's just something that I would recommend for everyone. Things start with mean and they end with literal violence against people. Like, I believe that, there's steps to these things. There's mean, then there's cruel, then there's harmful, then there's violent, then there's actions against people. I think that being mean leads to hate speech, leads to racism, bigotry, homophobia, xenophobia, all that leads to harmful actions. So I think that when we understand those progressions, it really allows us to really feel like our actions are even more impactful, because then you're not just being kind to be kind, you're being kind for the protection of yourself and the people around you, because you care about making sure that everyone feels safe, everyone feels understood, everyone is allowed the space to be who they are without judgment. Because let's think about it, y'all. Let's think about it, okay? Let's consider the odds. If you are in a world where there are just a million nice people, kind people, and there's one evil person, everybody's looking at them like, you're freaking weird, you're lame, stop. Okay? But if we're all like low-key mean, we let stuff slide, we let people not be their true selves, and we just talking bad about them, then at the point where a freaking evil person comes around, we're all like, they're not that bad, because we're so used to just letting people slip by with being, snide and hateful and just all around terrible people. So if we all collectively are working towards being better, then the world just becomes a better place. And I think people don't realize how much impact their personal decisions have on the general world. Because even though, obviously we're one in a million, this world is very big. In a grand scheme of things, your individual actions will not wildly determine everything unless you're like in a position of power. But individual actions also have like so much impact, because your little actions can really affect someone's life in a big way that you don't even understand at all. Okay, so these are my tips and tricks. I got 2 tricks for y'all. Okay, this is gonna be a short little video, but no, I got 2 tricks for y'all. Okay, the power of silence. Genuinely, I'm so lost why people just stop doing the whole, oh, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all thing. Like, it's really not that difficult. Like, I feel like just, and eventually, once you stop saying mean things, you also stop thinking them. Because at that point, you're not even going to vocalize them. So most of the time, your mind won't even go there. And then if you do that, eventually you'll get to a place where you're not even thinking hate things at all. Like, it's just fantastic. It's a great headspace to be in, because we know how draining it is to be around like negative people. Like, I don't think there are like cases, of course, I'm just like anyone else. Like, sometimes it feels good to let your frustration out about something ridiculous that you experience. Kikiing with your friends over this or that, or this or them or her, whatever. But when it gets down to it, like, it's draining. It doesn't make you feel as good as being an uplifting person. But we all know the difference between mean and teasing, right? Because I am a mischievous girl. I love to tease people. It's one of my favorite things to do. Harmless teasing, I feel like that is a love language in itself. So, yeah, that's also a point I wanted to say. I don't care what anyone says. Nobody's just a hater through and through unless you got some kind of deep-rooted issue. Which, that's for you to work on. I don't know, But also, that kind of goes to my second point, which is when you find someone, because you always have some people where, you might have to work with them for whatever reason, but I feel like if you have like a difficult personality that you come across, a lot of the times you can still find at least 1 or 2 traits that you can relate to, either that you relate to being close to them with, or something that's like so far off. Like, let's say, oh, there's this one person and they're kind of chatty, they talk too much. It's me, bro. They talk too much and they're just really like difficult to have a conversation with. If you find like one thing about them that maybe you admire, like, oh, the way that they always open the door for other people, or the way that they try really hard to put their all into something, that's like a thing that you can respect about them, even if you, hi baby, hi, even if you don't necessarily get along with them. There's so much within a person that a lot of the times, even if you don't like an overall person, there is like some little kernel of something that you can admire about them, whether that's their ambition, their experience, their work ethic, yada, yada, yada. There's always a little bit of something. And if you try to focus on that, a lot of the times you can kind of get to the reason and the root for why you might have disdain for a certain person. And that teaches you more about yourself a lot of the times, because a lot of the times the feelings that we have, that resentment that we might have for another person, is either some kind of feeling of resentment that we might have, or some kind of insecurity, because a lot of the time meanness is just insecurity. It's like when you're focusing on yourself, it's difficult to really my cute cat. Anyways, to really try, I don't remember what I was saying. Anyways, yeah, sometimes you just have to find some root core to someone to really, I love my cat. Guys, I love cats. That's the moral of the story. The moral of the story is I love cats. Look at his beautiful little face. Anyways, the tip and the trick is really just to find something that you can relate to. At the same point though, like, you also have to understand, like, I'm not even gonna say this, like, I'm not your pastor, I'm not God, I'm not the one putting judgment on nobody. So if there is something like in your core that like draws you away from a person, listen to it. Your intuition is on 10. Your intuition will tell you more about another person than you can ever really try to understand. And sometimes you don't really have to get along with everyone. You don't have to get along with everyone. That's just the way life goes. But that's just kind of my ruminations, my little outlook. Guys, I have a lot of like poems in my brain, but they haven't quite made it on paper yet. So I think that's what I'm gonna do right now. But I'm just in a happy corner. I'm very happy to be here. I'm happy to be home. But yeah, I hope you have an amazing night. Besos to you. If you listen to the end of this video, I probably love you. So